Greetings Internet, Didier here, and welcome to another Star Wars Unlimited match video that we have bringing to you. This time it is a clash, a return of the Store Showdown champions. Myself and Noah, both running the decks that we have claimed Store championships with. We're actually 1-1 right now, I think, against each other in this specific matchup in Store Showdowns. So this is technically a tiebreaker between us. I think Noah has taken me out of a top 8, and I have taken him out of a top 8, if I remember. Either that, or I beat him in the final round of Swiss in the one. So it looks like Noah's going to start out with initiative here and drop down a Leia and ready a resource. It looks like he has R2 in his hand, so he's going to be able to double turn 1 drop. Starting out with Han Power, very typical here to play aggressively with Han Power against aggro decks. Wonder what 3-drop we're going to be seeing come out. Starting with a Falcon on my side and then shooting down the R2. I don't know if Noah actually scryed there when he played R2. I didn't see that. So taking the 3 damage and then double pinging us. So going to 4 on the Sabine side and myself going to 1 on the Han side. Destroying a resource with Han. So, a lot of interesting plays over on Noah's side doing the double turn 1 drop. He did put 3 power on the board. Looks like he does have a red 3 in his hand, so he's going to be able to buff up, but it looks like he's going to wait. Good play here. You know, I do have that ready Falcon, so if he dropped the red 3, it would get answered immediately. But doing 2 for a Spark of Rebellion, interesting play here against aggro, but it looks like it's going to end up working out for me because, yeah, killing that Falcon is really difficult to get rid of, so it's good that you take out the Falcon in the hand. And now that I know he has red 3, I can play around that. So Spark of Rebellion sometimes is a slow play against aggro, but sometimes it's not. If you take away a unit that takes away their play that turn. Now, I know he's going to want to play his red 3 to buff up his R2, which he's probably going to do here. Yep, going to see that come down, red 3 to buff up the R2 to take an extra damage. But I know I can claim and immediately answer the red 3 with my Millennium Falcon, and I know I took out his Falcon, so he doesn't have another good space unit that he can play down. So pretty even here to start out. Han slightly ahead on 6 while Sabine is on 8, but we're going to see the Sabine deploy this turn, so the Sabine is going to jump ahead in damage very quickly. Looks like I do have a Leia in my hand, so I do have an answer to potentially something. So Noah, thinking of going for the deploy there, afraid of the Lackey, he actually told me, but he realized that I paid for Falcon, so we're not going to see Lackey this turn. So it looks like Noah does have a Fleet Lieutenant in hand and a Surprise Strike and an A-Wing. Oh, no, I'm sorry. He has an A-Wing and a Surprise Strike. So pretty gas hand. He's going to be able to drop his whole hand this turn, shooting out Surprise Strike to deal 5 damage with Leia. Dropping down 3 for an Ezra Bridger. Just pretty standard play here. Looking to get some value next turn. Looks like I do have a Traitorous in hand. Oh, actually, I remember this. Yep, hitting 1 damage with the R2. So actually, I do remember this because I was laughing about it after this game that I was trying to Traitorous him all game, but he had dropped R2 Leia, and there's just really no good Traitorous target. Deploying Sabine and dropping down the A-Wing to deal 3 damage. Again, you can see just how fast he's shooting ahead in damage. Now 16-9. So it looks like I do have Bright Hope in hand. I think I still have that Leia and Traitorous. So I could Traitorous the A-Wing. The problem is if I open Han Power, he's probably going to swing in with the A-Wing. Looks like Noah has Bamboozle and a X-Wing in his hand. So yeah, it makes sense here because if I open Han Power, he's just going to swing with the A-Wing. So I have to take out his A-Wing with the Falcon. Yep, dealing 2 damage with the Leia. Leia and R2, me not dropping any Sentinels is unfortunate for me. Leia and R2 is not great when you would drop Sentinels. So it's shooting down the Leia and tapping Sabine. For some reason, tapping Ezra, but thank you, Noah, for asking me why I did that. I don't know why I did that, but hey. 1 damage R2, little droid boy, ignoring the protocol and just adding a ton of damage this game. Doing Han power here, so we're going to see the Han deploy, but he does have that bamboozle in hand, and he's probably saving it to just immediately answer the Han. Sabine is sticking on 4 resources. Yep, immediately answering the Han there to tap down the Han. Great play there to really slow May down. Taking out Leia and getting the Greedo play. Now we're getting to the later stage of the game now. I am at 19 to 9, and there's still a bunch of units on the board. So this could get kind of dicey. He's going to 5, so I wonder what he has in his hand. I didn't get a chance to see it. Oh, it looks like a K2. That K2 is probably going to be able to seal out this game, so I need to be very, very careful. So I'm at 6, he's at 5. Getting in the Sabine damage while he can for another 3, taking me to 22. Yep, always doing the most damage unit that he had on board first. Trading in the space. Falcon did work that game. Taking out 3 units in space. Getting in 1 damage from R2, taking me to 24. Now we are getting a little dicey. 4 a cause can end it. I have how much power on the board? 6, 10, 12. So I can take him to 22, 21. Taking out the R2 with the Han Solo, just because I am at a point where I cannot afford to take literally any damage. And this is a very difficult situation that I'm in because I have Greedo. Shooting down the Han unit to take out something. Not sure what we're going to take out. But it's kind of sad here because me having Greedo down on the board puts me in a very, very difficult situation. Because either I'm taking 3 damage from the K2 death, or he's just swinging into Greedo, and then I'm taking 3 damage anyway. And then the 3 inevitable damage from K2's death would still be coming. So it puts me in a very difficult spot here. And I don't think I have an answer to the K2 in my hand, like a Leia tap or like a Homestead Militia or something like that. Like Homestead would be very good in this situation because it would fully absorb the K2 attack and then not kill K2. So it would give me a whole nother turn without taking the K2 damage. So yep, going for the Greedo kill, but not getting the shot. So I'm going to have to trade the Leia into it as well. Taking the 3 damage, it's unfortunate I had to do that, but like I said, I was taking 3 damage anyway with Greedo. And at least this way I get the K2 off the board. But unfortunate, I am perfectly in range of a 4 a cause. Looks like I did draw into U-Wing, so I could stabilize if he happens to not draw 4 a cause. So yeah, for example, like Echo Base would be the worst play there against with that K2 on the board because he would overwhelm 1 and then do an additional 3 on death. So it would actually be 4 damage. So Echo Base would be a terrible play there. Oh, yep, getting out the 4 cause, and I think he plays a high volume of heroism cards. So getting the 4 damage he needed to seal out the game. So close game there. It did look dominating for Sabine, but I did have board control at that point in the game. So it could have gone either way. But great game showing. I do believe that these 2 decks we're seeing here, the Blonde Sabine and the Green Han, are the 2 strongest decks in the format. I know Boba is there, and he's strong as well. I would say that Boba probably takes the 3 spot. If I would claim a big 3, my big 3 would be Boba, Han, and Sabine. Vader is strong, but Vader is pretty slow. He's very draw dependent because of how slow he is. So, getting to that Vader deploy can sometimes be rough. For something I've noticed I've played against a lot of Vader. Like, I played against a lot of Vader with Luke. I played against a lot of Vader with Han. And usually I can disrupt their hand a little bit, like with a spark, and then just kind of run into them and kill them before Vader deploy, or at least get them to a place where their Vader deploy doesn't save them. And all you have to do is like one Leia tap down to Vader to really seal out the game. So because he's so slow, a single tap on Vader could just swing you the whole game. But I do like Vader, and I do think he's tier 1. I just don't think he's the best deck in the format. The Han deck, I feel like we would be seeing way more tournament champions of Han if he was just slightly easier to play or slightly less punishing when you misplay. Because it's crazy. If you misplay as Han, you pretty much lose the game. And I've said this several times, and I know many people out there have been asking me details about how I play Han Solo. I am coming out with a detailed Han Solo guide that is in the works. I just wanted to get this match video out because match videos are just awesome in Star Wars Unlimited. This game is actually very entertaining to watch and to commentate. So I love it, and it's very fun. So initial draws here. Looks like a pretty good draw on my side. We got Traitorous. I saw Battlefield Marine. I think I saw a U-Wing as well. So we have a good mixture of early and late game. So it doesn't look like I'm going to start. And looks like on Noah's side, we have Red 3, Surprise Strike going to the bin, and then double Fleet Lieutenant. Fleet Lieutenant is such a good card in Sabine because not only does it's like a surprise strike, but it also puts a 3-power unit on the board. Pretty much like one of the best. Honestly, I think Fleet Lieutenant is probably like one of the best 3 drops in the game, handedly. So pretty even here, going with Lethal versus Battlefield Marine. Pretty even here. Start. So thinking about resourcing the Traitorous on my side, but it looks like I drew Bamboozle. And I think I threw it to the resource bin just because I knew I was going to trade units here. And even if he had like a wing leader, I figured it wouldn't really matter for a while. And I do have Traitorous. That's probably the reason I did that. Because I have the Traitorous, so if he happened to get a wing leader on a unit, I could just Traitorous it. Shooting out the Waylay here. Looks like my hand is pretty slow. But getting that Waylay to slow him down as well looks like I drew into a Falcon. So I have like Falcon, Traitorous, U-Wing, just trying to slow down the game and then get to my late game cards because I do have a lot of them. Going to see the Sabine deploy now to a naked board, which is just crazy. And then Han powering as well. So I think we are going to see a Fleet Lieutenant now on to Sabine for big numbers. Yep, big numbers, shooting in 5 damage there, big numbers. So I think I did have that Chewbacca. Yeah, I have that Chewbacca. So good play there for 5. Yep, certainly better than doing Traitorous on a Fleet Lieutenant. So being that we are going into the 5 resource turn and there's only 6 damage on my base, this is pretty good for me. I do have that U-Wing in my hand to stabilize. Looks like Noah has a K2, a Red 3, that Red 3 that I had bounced, and then another Fleet Lieutenant and a Falcon. So pretty gas hand over there. The other Fleet Lieutenant is great. Smart play here by Noah. Get the damage in on Chewie because he doesn't have a hard answer in his hand. Get the damage in on Chewie and responding. Really great plays here on both players. Trading the unit and having Chewie survive there, forcing another answer on Chewie. Just really great here. Does drop down the K2, which is a great answer to that. Having a 1 health Chewie on board with K2 sounds great to Noah. So I'm going to have to kind of change what I do here, I think, because that K2 is scary. The 3 damage overwhelm is not something I want to deal with. So deploying the Han Solo, and we're probably going to end up seeing a U-Wing here, but I wonder where the Han damage is going to go. I think I do have 2 cards in my hand, so I can afford a K2 discard. So shooting into K2 And knowing that I only have 2 cards in my hand, yep, Noah's going to go for the discard there. Good play there by Noah. Just limiting my options. But I do get off the U-Wing. So again, I only have 1 damage on his base, and he has 7 on mine. I mainly wanted to kill that K2 because I wanted to save myself the 3 overwhelm damage and kind of force him into Sabining my Chewbacca again. Great U-Wing here, getting the full 7, shooting down Falcon, Echo Base, and a Greedo. So really high value there with that U-Wing. Always good to put 10 power on the board and then additionally get a another attack with the Millennium Falcon. So end of the round, destroying 2 resources and then going back to 5 on my side. Now I'm limited. Looks like I'm not. He's not top decking, but I certainly am top decking now. But I did resource up to 6, so I wonder what I drew in my hand. I did not see it. So still got that red 3. That red 3 has been sitting in hand for a long time, just showing the power of that early game waylay was very, very efficient in slowing him down. Taking out Sabine. Chewie just did such a great job taking out Sabine there. Took 2 Sabine hits and took her out. Good job, Chewie. You are a loyal companion. Shooting in 4 damage there with the Echo Base Defender and responding with his Alliance X-Wing in space. Now it's time to push in damage for Han after the U-Wing. Getting a resource off the top, going to 7. So we could see another 7 drop here. Throwing down Falcon, trying to get damage in. So where's the damage going with the Falcon? I could take out the Alliance X-Wing, but nope, going to go for face. I have a lot of damage on board, and I think I can just outrace him at this point. So you have taking him to 18 with the Greedo. So we could have saw another 7 drop, but nope, it is a Homestead Militia. So it looks like Noah really wanted to establish some board presence there by playing the Falcon and the X-Wing, kind of save up for the red 3, knowing that I do have the Falcon. So if he would have played down the red 3, I would have probably immediately killed it. He has to play around Falcon in space and try to squeak out that damage if he can. Yep, shooting down the Fleet Lieutenant and firing in 4 into base. He still does have 3 resources. He actually has 4, so he could... So he has Fleet Lieutenant. That's not going to really help him because Falcon is... Oh, and then the Bamboozle on the tap down for the Falcon. Just kind of... Yep, and then I think Noah conceded here because he realized... I think I had lethal on board. Yeah, I had lethal on board. So the Bamboozle on the Falcon just kind of sealed it for me, knowing that there was no way he could possibly get me within lethal range. And then me having lethal on board just ended it. So far, 1-1. Great start to this match. Always good when you have some close matches going into Game 3. So this is actually the last time I'm going to see Noah in person. He's heading back up home to Canada. He visits every once in a while. It's great to have him come back to the area. Originally from Easton. I am also originally from Easton myself. So come back to the stomping grounds. Go to your local game store. Get in some games with friends. Always great. But yep. So set 2 is really tuning up to be an interesting set. I'm interested to see how the set 1 meta decks, the 2 meta decks that you're seeing here, are changed with the set 2 cards. I've been contemplating how I'm going to be changing my decks. So it looks like I did draw into a resupply, which is incredibly powerful in this matchup. So there is a chance that I keep that hand. Looks like I also have a Bamboozle and a Change of Heart and an Akbar. So sending a Change of Heart to the bin makes sense there. Noah's going to start with a A-Wing, a Sabine as well, Lothal, and another Fleet Lieutenant. This guy is drawing Fleet Lieutenants like a fiend. So Noah's going to start with initiative here, shooting down the Sabine Wren, one of the greatest turn 1 plays, 3 damage, but the versatility of Sabine is very, very strong. firing down the Han power to start. Makes sense here. Wonder what amazing 3-drop we're going to see drop here. It has to be a good one, right? Admiral Akbar for 1 damage ping on Sabine Wren. Probably the greatest. No, I'm just kidding. No, honestly, I think what I did here is I kept this kind of mediocre hand so I could resupply. Because I know how powerful the resupply is in the aggro matchup. Being able to match the Sabine deploy is just very, very, very strong. And getting to those endgame units quicker is imperative. Plus, I figured the Akbar would just kind of offset a little bit of damage for me. So, yep, makes sense here. Shooting off that resupply seems slow, but like I said, you match the Sabine deploy. But my little 1 damage boy, restore 1, let's go, Admiral Akbar. The trap is that you think Admiral Akbar is a weak unit, when in reality, he's going to heal you a bunch of damage. Yep, looks like in my hand I have Falcon, I saw. And then, likewise, Noah has Bamboozle, a Red 3, a Lothal, and a A-Wing. So he's probably going to answer the Han deploy with Bamboozle again. I assume that's a play that he's been talking to me about, that he likes to do. I think he actually main decks Bamboozle now, because he says it kind of just wins in the mirror. So it allows you to win the mirror match handedly, which makes sense to me. Plus, it's good against characters like Han. But paying 5 immediately and shooting down the Chewbacca. So not going to do a 7-drop this turn, but going to establish that board presence of Chewbacca and force either the Spec Force answer or force him to stop attacking me this round. So because of that Chewbacca, and he knows he's not going to get ground damage in for a little bit, he actually decides to go with the A-Wing. Even though he knows the Han deploy is coming, he's not going to... He wants to put more power on the board because he knows, in space specifically, because he knows that the ground is going to be tough for him now with that Chewbacca and with Han coming out this turn. So going to shoot down Han, and then we're going to see the Han deploy. Now, the question is, are we going to see the Sabine deploy? Because there's almost no reason to deploy Sabine. Just to kind of, oh, actually, yes, he's going to claim initiative there and not even deploy Sabine. Smart play there, because it just kind of, kind of bringing her out and not attacking with her is, like, it gives you a little bit more action economy to bring her out, but it's a little scary because I could just kill her. So taking out the Sabine unit with Han Solo while I can before he activates the Sabine ability. So the ground arena is looking really good for me. Looks like I have Traitorous in my hand now. Oh, that's right. I remember this. Because I had actually forgotten to resource off the top with Han power. So we're discussing right now how we should handle it. So, and I just want to state for the camera that this is really not how you would properly handle this in a tournament. The rule. So what I'm doing is I'm just shuffling the 2 cards that I drew and just randomly getting rid of one of them, which ends up being the U-Wing. And if you scroll back the video, you actually see that it would have been Traitorous. Not that it matters too much because they're both great cards. But just want to state for the viewers at home, this was a casual game. We were just playing a casual pickup game, so that's why we decided to handle it like that. But in a tournament setting, the rule is that the judge should affect the board state the least. So I think the rule would be in an official tournament that I would just receive a warning for forgetting my trigger, but we wouldn't like roll back like that like we did, because that is heavily affecting the board state. The game state, really. So, yep. So, getting in 3 damage with the A-Wing, getting in 3 damage with Chewbacca, and then shooting down the Millennium Falcon, and then, here it comes, immediately responding with the Traitorous. So, I would have had U-Wing instead of Traitorous there, so which is better? Who knows? But we'll have to see how the rest of this game plays out. So, getting the Lothal and drawing and random discarding me. and then getting the cunning. Just really great. Noah just picking the right cards there. Picking the U-Wing, picking the cunning, all those discards. But yep, taking out the A-Wing in space with his own Falcon. And then Akbar coming in for that one heal again. You go, buddy. You go. So then probably going to go to base here with Han, I would assume. Yeah, because I have Chewbacca established, going in to the base with Han Solo, not forgetting to resource off the top that time. Yep, shooting down resource here. So we're getting to the later stages of the game. We are at, I think it's 11 to 13. So now we're going to really start pushing in the damage and see this game end quickly. So doing the surprise strike, taking out the Chewie. You can just see how much damage Chewie saved me there. All the turns that Sabine wasn't on the field, all the turns that he did not attack with that Fleet Lieutenant. Just so much damage. So wait, did he not deploy Sabine at all? Taking him to 19. I don't think he actually... Did he not deploy Sabine this game? Oh, yeah. And then, of course, showing Han's natural ability to resource Surprise Strike off the top. I've talked about this several times. So, yeah, I think we're scooping up here because I just have so much damage on the board. Oh, no, we're not. We're actually playing it out. Yeah, because he's at 19. And then he's doing 3 damage with the... So I don't think he actually Sabine deployed there. I don't think it would have mattered, really, because I had Han Solo. So if he Sabine deploys, I one-shot him with Han. But yeah, great game. So I do take it 2-1. It's not a great matchup for Sabine Yellow, although Sabine Yellow, as we can see in the first game, can get the damage in and can squeak out games against Han. It is possible. But thank you for joining us, and if you like this video, please hit that like button. We're going to be pushing out way more match videos. I have tons of match videos recorded. We have a fun one with Grand Inquisitor that Noah has built, so we'll put out that one soon. Yeah, and so if you like match videos, hit that subscribe button, and make sure you turn your dial to Random Number Gaming for weekly updates on the Star Wars Unlimited trading card game.